Hello there, Geek Collective, and welcome to Geeks Plus, where we are more than just your average geeks. And welcome to something, for some of you, it might be a little bit different, but for us, this is actually a return to form. We are back on a Sunday afternoon for us with Indie Comic Book Club. We have not done this live in 3 years, something like that. It's been a long time. And this is actually LG's first time doing it live, as far as I'm aware. This is
I used to be a viewer, and now I'm here.
yeah. LG was one of the people that hung out with us and chat and listened to me and Nitro ramble about comics, and now he's the one that gets to ramble with me about comics. So, thank you for everyone joining us. Thank you, LG, for being here.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, we kind of dropped the ball with Indie Comic Book Club for a few months. If you saw, we did our Halloween special back in October, which was phenomenal. We thoroughly enjoyed it. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees was a phenomenal book. And then we got really okay, we're going to get out a November 5th episode. And we're going to talk about V for Vendetta, one of my favourite movies. I've never fully read the comic. I was excited to talk about it. And we just did not hit that mark at all. I underestimated how thick that book was and how dense it was.
It's a tough read too. Like, not only is it like a book, like in physical thickness, but gosh, it was a really tough read.
Dude, it's dense. There is so much in that. I was like, yeah, we're not hitting this. I was hopeful, we'll read a couple of weeks, we'll get through it, we'll do the recording for it, it'll be
Yeah.
No, I didn't even get through that to the end of November.
It's gonna take me till November to actually finish the book, I think.
Yeah, I tried to push hard because I thought at least we can get it out before the end of the year, and then I just gave up. With all the holiday stuff happening, I just gave up on it, and I'm like, it's not worth it. We'll do it next November. I've read the book now, I can skim through it for next year and get back into it. So coming this November will be V for Vendetta, but once we were in the holiday period, we're kind of like, you know what, let's just start fresh when we get into 2026 and all that stuff's through. But we're back, we are live, and we are kicking off with an exciting one today.
Mm-hmm.
We are children of the 90s.
Yeah.
We grew up in the era of, I would say, arguably the best cartoons to have ever existed. We grew up in the golden era of kids' cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those phenomenal cartoons, you grew up with it, I grew up with it, was Transformers. One of the best, one of the enjoyable, still to this day, as far as I'm concerned, that cartoon still holds up. I still love it.
Yeah.
But there has been a whole host of comic books that have came out about this. And it was actually LJ that put it forward. Hey, why don't we check this one out?
Yeah. I've become a huge Daniel Warren Johnson fan over the last, ever since we did Do a Powerbomb.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
Which, if you're watching on YouTube, I'll put a link up in the corner. Go and check that out. Our Indie Comic Book Club talking about Do a Powerbomb from Darren Walton Johnson. Phenomenal comic. But yeah, sorry, please continue.
But no, yeah, this is the book right here.
Yep.
Huge Daniel Warren Johnson fan now, especially with all the stuff he'd been posting and the Absolute Batman one shot he did,
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm a big fan of his art style as well, and his writing.
Which he does both of in this book. He does both the writing and the artwork with is it Mike? Yeah, Mike Spicer comes in to do the coloring, but the artwork and the artwork and the writing is both from Darren Walton Johnson. Sorry, I got distracted with ads and chat. I'm not used to getting distracted during this because we're live on Twitch again.
We're back, yeah.
As the Joe Henry Redeem will not play during this because we're on our podcast page and I don't have them coming up because this gets posted to YouTube. But I appreciate it and I will give you a clap for the Joe Henry Redeem.
Yeah.
I was a fan of my countryman. But yeah, Daniel Warren Johnson is a guy who's kind of just I feel like a few years ago just kind of like blew onto the comic book scene.
Mhm.
Like he'd done
Yeah,
stuff before, like he'd done a couple of comics, and then Do a Power Bomb was the first time I'd really heard about the guy.
same.
Um, the comic just caught my eye. The artwork, the story of it caught my eye. When I picked up issue 1, so I thought, okay, this dude's got some stuff, and I think phenomenally the fact it caught my eye was like I'm a wrestling fan. You're a wrestling fan as
Yeah.
well. If you go and watch your Do a Power Bomb Indie Comic Book Club, we spend the first half of that, you, me, and Nitro talking about
Yes.
our love of wrestling, where our history
Yeah.
was with it, how we feel about it today, and getting into that. So having a comic creator that is wholeheartedly a wrestling fan definitely caught our
Yeah.
attention and got us
If he
like,
can throw a wrestling move in his comic, he's gonna do it. Like
and he does pretty much all the time. I mean,
every time.
like watching Batman hit a one-winged angel is
Yes.
something I never thought I would see to this day.
Yes.
Hitting Kenny Omega's finisher and his absolute Batman in one shot, and I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm down. Like that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So I was very intrigued when he was brought on to do Transformers, because it isn't just like you hear it all the time when it comes to like Marvel and DC and all that stuff. Like you get new writers and new artists, and it's, you know, you
Yeah.
essentially have to treat it like it's a new season.
Yeah.
A lot of indie comics don't do that, even in properties that are known. Like take like the Turtles for example. The
Yeah.
Turtles has been going for goodness knows how long at this point. But it's the same writers, it's the same artists. They maybe change up artists, but it's the same ongoing, continuous story.
Mm-hmm.
And for a long time, Transformers was like that. Like we had like years ago, it was Marvel had the rights to doing stuff, and it did a whole bunch of comics and stuff in the past. But as I've got it sitting here, for a long time, it was IDW.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this is compendium number 1.
I bought that on Kindle after y'all talked about it, and I
Look,
have like only a few pages.
look how thick this book is, and this is compendium 1, and there are, I think there's, if not into it, close to double digits of compendiums. That's
Yeah.
how long the series was going with it. It was just kind of a consideration of like, IDW is just going to keep going with the story. It's going to be a continuing story. It's just a done thing.
Yeah.
And then news dropped a number of years ago, more years ago than I realized until I looked it up, and boy, did that shock me and make me feel like time was flying by.
Yeah.
Because the new one came out in 2023, which means it was announced before then, which is like, wow, I feel old again. But like, not only were they relaunching the new number 1, but it was now under a different company. It was under Skybound with Image, the company that's known for doing Invincible, that's doing that does stuff. I think they do The Walking Dead as well. I'm not sure if they are Skybound or not. I think they might be, because that's Robert Kirkman's company.
Yep.
But they got Transformers and brought in Daniel Warren Johnson to take over it, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that alone made it a must read, because everyone was like, well, this is the first new start for Transformers we've had in a long time, so what do we do with it? You know? So we're going to jump in and tell you what we think about Daniel Warren Johnson's work, and we're going to be as unbiased as we can, but like we said coming into this, we are fans of him, we are fans of his work, we are fellow wrestling lovers, so it's like seeing that coming into Transformers was interesting as well. Seeing Optimus Prime pull off a German suplex at some point was something I never thought in my life I would see.
Yes.
Outside of like a kid's bedroom playing with his action figures, I never thought I would see happen, but it does. But to start with you, LJ, what were your thoughts on that? And I just totally realized your name on the panel is still LJ the Paladin below you. I've not updated that, and I completely
That's
forgot.
okay.
Um,
I changed my name for like
I'm
so
gonna say it's like
it's
I'm
all good.
still like finding stuff because we've not done this in a while. Like you had a whole
Yeah, no,
name
it's
change,
cool.
and I'm like, oh yeah, you're not LJ the Paladin anymore. I forgot to
Yeah.
update the the
So
border.
I refer to myself now as LJ, your resident blind bandit.
Yep.
I'm marketing my vision disability now.
Yeah, which for
Is the
anyone
way
who
I like to put
doesn't
it.
know, LJ is legally blind, which
Yep. So I read my comics and look at my phone like this.
yeah. Which is
um,
hysterical, like whenever he's streaming, because whenever he's streaming and has to read the chat, you see him like
I
zoom.
like yeah, because like my camera is up here, and like if I have to look at the screen and read something, I'm going like this. Yeah. But anyway, um, but yeah, so I this book is it's super good. There's definitely some things in here that I was surprised to see happening in a Transformers comic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so one thing, um, I I guess, um, like I feel like you do know what you're getting as far as like art style and stuff. Like with Daniel Warren Johnson, like it's totally he puts his signature on it.
Yeah.
But what I was surprised to see is the robots' interactions with humans.
Mm-hmm.
Literally seeing the Decepticons not care, and they're legit like squishing like human beings like this, and just doing all like just stepping like the
That
violence is crazy to me.
yeah. Like I said, we grew up with the old Transformers cartoon.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a kids show made
yeah,
to market toys, so like of course they're
yeah,
not going to do anything like that. When
yeah,
I watch Starscream pick up a human being and literally go, it
yeah,
was
or
like
like just or the squish
I
happening
just
off panel,
squat,
like,
and you're like, holy
and then
crap!
and then after that they call them squishies. They call humans squishies.
Yeah.
I was
Which, yeah, if I just squish one in my hand, I'd probably refer to them that as well. Like, it's like
yeah.
holy damn! Like, it's that was very much a
But
feeling of they're not holding back in this
I was like,
series.
oh yeah, I was like, no way. Okay. But it also brings up after that happens, it also brings up a conversation about the fragility of a human life, and really like the message that he decided, and the kind of I guess the message that he wanted to bring forth. That was never really answered with this series, and that's kind of like a very philosophical way to look at life. Like, um, Optimus is like, yeah, we're big, heavy, pieces of metal. Like we don't. I don't live on a planet like this.
Yeah, it's
Uh, yeah,
there's that great juxtaposition of how the Autobots and Decepticons handle that.
yeah,
Like you see Starscream and the Decepticons just ripping humans apart and just like
yeah,
almost like, hey, this is fun. And then you get that scene of Optimus like with the deer that
yes,
he accidentally stands on
yeah,
and kills it, and then you see him like cradling this deer for a long time while he talks to what's his name, Spike.
Spike,
Yeah,
yeah,
while he's talking with Spike, and like basically like trying to understand this world because he comes from a world
mm-hmm.
of metal, and I'm like, what's understanding how fragile this world is in two totally juxtaposition ways.
Yeah,
It's like it's such an interesting thing.
mm-hmm.
It's just they do a really good job of that, of showing the difference in ideals between the two factions.
Yeah,
Like it's a really good intro. Like if you had never seen a Transformers show or movie or never read a Transformers comic, like how would you want to be introduced? And I think it does
yeah,
a
this,
very good job of showing why these are the good guys, why these are the bad guys, not just a
yeah,
typical oh good and bad. Like no, it shows like an in depth of their ideals and why they are the way they are a little bit, without
yes,
giving too much away in the first few issues.
yeah, yeah. I think they did that well, and it also operates on like they have an interesting way of like I figure as he's making this, it's like, most people are probably gonna read this and know who the Autobots and Decepticons are, but it's like almost a good way to reintroduce I guess the two extremes of it. So I feel like you could still read, like, if you haven't read a comic, or I mean, if you don't know who the Transformers are, you're probably rock anyway. But if I feel like it adds a layer to it where if like I was to never watch or read or anything about Transformers, like you could pick this up and easily kind of know what's what and who's who and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But it also doesn't. I don't feel like it does. Like, I feel like it's a great introduction, but I don't feel like it does like the super handholdy thing either
Yes,
that you
yes.
get with a lot of origin stuff, of like where it's like we're going to walk you through all the basic steps of the, like there's almost an element of Transformers as pop culture at this point. Like, you see Optimus Prime, most people know who that is. He's a pop culture thing. You see any sort of Transformer, that's a Transformer. It's a big robot that turns into something else. That alone is like without pop culture. So it very much, it takes into account you probably know what Transformers are. Even if you don't know the full extent of the
Yeah.
story, you know what they are. You know the basics of it, the Autobots and Decepticons. We're
Yeah.
not going to hold your hand through that.
It feels like the way almost James Gunn did Superman a little bit this year. It's like,
Mm,
okay, we're not gonna sit here and go through the whole origin story, but we're gonna like, we assume you already know, but we also are gonna like drop nuggets of it in there. So it's just like, I
yeah.
feel like that's kind
Like
of the
that opening
way.
paragraph from Superman where it's like, here's the origin story, literally in bullet
Yes.
points for you. Let's jump
Yeah.
into the stuff you actually want to see. And don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
like, there's still stuff in there, like you introduce the other heroes and you introduce him going back to the farm and seeing his parents, and you get like
Yep.
the Fortress of Solitude and who his parents were that sent him and the message. Like, you get all
Hmm.
the boom 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 that you need to, if you've never seen a Superman movie before
Yeah.
and you don't actually know
Absolutely.
who the character is, not completely, because you often forget that sometimes people are like, being a geek,
Hmm.
we often forget sometimes that the people come into these worlds having no clue about any of this stuff. Like, we are super
Right.
knowledgeable on this stuff, like we are immersed
Yeah.
in this stuff.
Yeah.
um Not everybody is. So it's like you
Yeah.
forget sometimes people, like, we get fed up of seeing the same origin story over and over again. And don't get me wrong, some of them, like, if you've seen like 5 Superman movies, you've probably seen the origin story 5 times.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, it's almost like the Stan Lee mentality. Like, he had to comics, like every comic is someone's first comic.
Hmm.
So it's like you have to be gentle. It's like it's a
Yeah.
really hard balance of finding,
Yes, that's
what
what I
if
was thinking,
someone
of balance.
new picks up this comic that's a number one of Transformers for the first time, but also,
Mhm.
what if you've been reading Transformers for decades? What if
Yep.
you watched the cartoon and you read the IDW run and you watched the
Mhm.
movies, as good or bad as you consider them to be? Like, what if you've been
Right.
immersed in the Transformers for so long? This still needs to be for you.
Yeah.
And that's a very hard line to walk.
Yeah.
It's a really tough line to walk. And I think Daniel Warren Johnson does a phenomenal job of walking it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, I didn't feel like I was just wading through stuff that I thought I knew. Like,
Mhm.
okay, well, I need to get through the first like 6 issues, this first volume, and then when I pick up volume 2, I'll be at the good stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I felt like this was a great introduction for someone who hadn't. I mean, you and I both said it before we even came on the stream here, that it's such an easy read. Like, you can sit
Mhm.
and just go through it. Like, I read through it so fast.
Yeah, same.
There was no like, to go from something like V for Vendetta that we were trying to do at the end of last year, which felt like a slog to get through. Like,
Yeah.
kudos to Alan Moore. I don't know how you get that much information on a page
Yeah.
without it just being like a wall of text every page. He somehow
Yeah.
managed to cram stuff in, whereas Daniel Warren Johnston's Transformers feels like a brisk read,
Mhm.
but it
I
felt
feel
like
like
an
we needed that.
enjoyable read.
Yes.
You know, is really well done, and it's 100% made me like, okay, yep, I need to get volume 2. I want to see what happens
Yes,
next.
absolutely. When I got done, I was like, man, I really need to get volume two. The pacing was really good on the writing. I feel like
The pacing was
really well done.
interesting because you know the first thing that caught my eye, and it's like, and there's a setup for him at the end of the first volume, so a little bit of spoilers for the first volume, but
Hmm.
it's not really spoilers. It's just the way the story's going. It happens in the stories all the time. This whole first volume, there is no Megatron.
That was honestly one of my favorite things about this book because when Megatron does get revealed, I feel like that's gonna be interesting because Starscream is like he lives in fear of that name right now because it's almost like talking about like Voldemort or something. He's like,
He
no, don't speak
literally
that name.
smacks the Decepticons when they start like
Yeah, yeah.
when they
Does the
start to
Batman?
ask about Megatron. He smacks Soundwave, and I'm like, I'm waiting for Soundwave to
Yes.
stand up and beat his ass. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
Yeah.
like, but I'm like, he literally is smacking him like, don't say that name, and it's like
Yeah.
which is really interesting because again, you get that great juxtaposition between the Autobots and the Decepticons of the types of leaders
Hmm.
they are, like of Optimus
Yeah.
Prime compared to Starscream.
Yeah.
Because Starscream is like so scared of not having that power and
Yes.
nothing but whines through the whole first volume.
Yep.
Um, but at the same time, you know, the moment Megatron shows up, it's over.
It's yes. Yeah.
He's almost been
Um.
built up like a this legendary figure, like you said, like a kind of like a
Yeah.
Voldemort in Harry Potter. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, everyone knows who Voldemort is now, but like if you had only read the first Harry Potter book and didn't know what was to come in the series, it's like, what the hell is this character? Who are they building up?
Yeah.
They almost have that kind of methodology when it comes to Megatron, of like he's
Yeah.
spoken of in whispers that Starscream won't let them finish. He is not to
Yeah.
be talked about, and the only time we see him is at the very end of the last issue in Volume One,
Yeah.
of still offline, still waiting to be woken up. So like it's that
Yeah.
setup of like it's coming, and I'm like, you could easily have went into Optimus versus Megatron and
Yeah.
opened the series with that.
I was thinking too, like, is whenever Optimus gets the new arm, when he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Yeah, this was a problem for you." So I'm assuming that's
Dude,
like the
that's
Megatron's arm.
Megatron's cannon
Yeah,
that he puts
yeah,
on, and I'm like, he put that on, and I
yeah.
was like,
I was like,
oh my goodness, this is
yes. I'm like,
amazing.
Optimus ain't playing. Optimus ain't playing if he's using Megatron's arm. Like,
Dude, he put that on, and I'm like, I
yeah,
have never seen this happen in a Transformers
yeah.
property before, and it's amazing.
Though
Optimus
the
loses his
events,
arm and puts on
the events
Megatron's cannon, and I'm like,
when he takes off, when he just rips off his arm and just beats the other dude with it, I'm just like,
yes.
this Optimus is savage. Like, I love it.
Yeah, this Optimus is like the one that just gets stuck in there. This is like back watching like Transformers the movie as a kid, like the old
Yeah.
animated movie. And that first opening scene before spoilers for that movie, Optimus dying, like that first opening scene of him and Megatron just beating the crap out of each other.
Hmm.
Like it very much was envisioning that of like Optimus does not hold back. He just gets stuck in this
Yes.
book. And it's
Yes.
so to the point of like I said, Optimus Prime does a German suplex on a Decepticon.
I feel like I relate to Optimus, especially in this past year. He's like, I'm tired. I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do. Like y'all, like,
Yeah.
like, um,
Which I like
yeah,
by the way, that's the back cover,
yep,
which
yep,
sums it up right there.
yeah.
Where is it? Where's this German suplex? I need to try and find it.
It's pretty early on. Um, but yeah, there are some great panels and great like spreads even too.
Do you know what I found really interesting with the artwork, just as I'm like reflecting through it, is the
Mm.
artwork is great art, don't get me wrong, but it also
Yeah,
feels very rough. It doesn't
that's what I
feel
like
it
about.
doesn't feel
Yeah,
clean. It feels very
yeah,
rough, very
that's what I kind of like about Daniel Warren Johnson's art style. Is it's not. I wouldn't call it attractive. I really wouldn't. And I've kind of been between, I guess, because like in my own art, I've kind of adapted my own style as well. I've kind of used him as an example, and artist that does Berserk.
Yes,
I like
yes.
that. I like that unclean like sketch. It's like a sketch style. Like it's definitely not attractive. I will say that his art is not like it's not one of those things you look at
It's
first
not
glance
clean.
and go,
It's
"Oh,
not
that's
like looking at someone like
yes,
Dan Mora or Jim Lee, where it's this clean, crisp
yes,
artwork. It's not like
yes,
that, but it doesn't need to be. Like
yes." Like
it's
it's just kind of
almost
got that like rawness to it.
it's like his pencil that he's drawn with is almost like a little bit blunt, and he's having to like re-go over lines, so the lines aren't just quite straight. It's like they're almost like
Yes,
a scratch to them. So it looks like
yes,
it's, but it makes it for something like this, where like let's be honest, the action doesn't stop in this. There's constant everything
exactly.
happening. It makes it feel like there's all this stuff going on, and it's
Hmm.
constantly jumping
Yeah,
from thing to thing to thing, but it fits what's going on.
yeah.
And we've talked about it before. Like artwork can really add to a story, and I feel like it does with
Hmm.
Transformers.
Yes, yeah,
You know, don't
absolutely.
get me wrong. I love crisp, clean artwork. Dan Mora
Yes,
is like god tier artist in the comic book world. It's phenomenal the stuff he does. But
yeah.
this stuff is definitely up there as well. Like
Found it.
it's good. There it is. Yeah, Suplex and Starscream, dude. He
Yes.
does an actual German suplex, like a proper
Yes.
German suplex, not just throwing him. I'm like, that's like, I
Yeah.
love the fact he gets wrestling into the stuff like that. I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like a German suplex is cool, but I still stand by though. Like the one winged angel was like,
That was so
it's
nutty.
so specific in that
I
Batman that he
saw that and I
does.
was like, I gotta get that book.
Yeah, it's like he does a literal one winged angel, which go on YouTube and look it up if you don't know what the one winged angel
Hmm.
is for wrestling. And I'm like, he has Batman doing that, and I'm like, that's such a specific move. Like that's not just like
Yep.
a wrestling holder. Like that's a proper finisher that no one does but Kenny
Yes.
Omega. I love it.
Yes.
Um,
Yep.
but seeing a transformer doing a German suplex is definitely up there.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like we were saying, the artwork can add to the story, and I feel like it does because it adds almost like the constant action to it. But I feel like it also adds to, we are really thrown into like the Transformers are just waking up, like they've
Yep.
crashed on Earth. They are just waking up. They are, for the whole first volume, they are looking for Energon. They
Yeah.
don't have enough Energon reserves. They can't like get many
It's
of
almost
their
a breakneck
allies.
speed, kind of. Like there are a couple slower moments, but
Yeah, like
they need that
there's,
power, so they're fighting for it.
they're fighting for that power, and then they end up in the fight with each other, so they're having to battle each other. Like it's constant,
Hmm.
like we are in survival mode. Like if we
Yeah.
don't find Energon, like we are literally about to shut down. It's like
Yeah.
it's completely in the midst of it all, and I love the way that it's told, and I love that kind of element for it. I also love as well just simple stuff they do in the book. Simple ideas in the story that they do that add to that, like having the Autobots like leaving and Starscream basically laying claim to the ship at
Yeah.
first, and trying to get Teletran 1 back online. When if you go back to the original cartoon, that's the Autobot space is
Hmm.
the ship. So like having like the Decepticons essentially take it at first was like okay, and it's like I like that he's willing to do his own telling of the story. It's not just a beat for
Yeah.
beat. Here's the
And play
Transformers,
with
you know.
ideas that people are so comfortable with. Yeah.
Hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's so well done. I think it's, and I like as well that, like we said, they don't res all the characters right away because of the lack of energon. We get a few at a time.
Hmm.
So in the first issue, like you get like two Autobots and two Decepticons.
Yeah.
And then as the issues go on, we start to bring more in. So it's like you've got an opportunity to learn more of the Transformers, to get introduced to who they are, to get, you know, to find out more about them. And they start to become part
Mhm.
of it. Like we see some interesting stories for them and what they're trying to do and what their roles are. And
Yeah.
you know, like the Autobots, like one of the first ones we get online is I always forget his name. The medic, the ambulance.
Ratchet.
Ratchet, that's it. I always
Hmm.
forget Ratchet's name. Don't know why. But like he's one of the first ones that comes online, so he's getting everyone back up, and he's very much as well worried about Optimus and him using the spark and all this storyline, that because Optimus goes to use the spark and he's like, don't, because if you go down, we're done. And then you
Mhm.
also get to meet somebody like Cliffjumper,
Yes.
who I love that we get some personality to him, because most people just go, oh, Red Bumblebee.
Yeah.
And because if you look at the
That's
old
funny.
designs of them, they literally look identical. One's yellow, one's red. That's literally
Yeah.
they're literally the exact same design. But like Bumblebee isn't rezzed yet, so Cliffjumper is. But we get to learn about him and what he's gone through.
Hmm.
And then we get to learn about the Decepticons, and completely on their opposite end of, like, Soundwave gets rezzed up, and his main job is get Teletran 1 working. But then we
Hmm.
also get the other planes getting rezzed, like Skywarp, which poor Skywarp, it does not go well for him by like issue 4. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
he's basically sacrificed for Energon at one point, and then Starscream
Yeah.
lies about it, and it's like just seeing the characters and then seeing the way that they play off of each other differently and the two different sides. It's so well done. I'd say
So
they
good.
slaughtered Ratchet.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
um, but yeah, it's like it's so well done. It's such a great
Hmm.
story, such a great telling of the two sides.
Hmm.
And I wanted to ask you, because I think they do interesting stuff with this as well. What did you think of the human component for this story?
I
Because
I
that's
like.
always a big one for Transformers. Is there always has to be a human component,
Yeah.
but it can very much, it's either great or it's awful. Usually,
It
it's
took. Yeah. So this is the argument I feel like that the MonsterVerse movies and all that content gets caught up in. Except, I don't. I guess. I mean, I haven't read enough of the Transformers comics or anything, but I would say, like, even going across the movies and stuff, the human component is definitely not really strong. I guess in both, because I'm thinking of how, like, when you go to watch a MonsterVerse movie like Godzilla or Kong, like, you don't care like about the humans, you just want to see the monsters fight.
yeah,
With the Transformers, you kind of can get away with that because they're sent to talk necessarily. Um, but like I'd say both series have had their moments where in Kong, I feel like a lot of human characters were good in that, kind of a thing. Skull Island. Um, I feel like I can't go back to anything that I'm super familiar with the Transformers, but this I feel like is a good example of how you story right. I'd say even in Transformers One, the human component was fine. Um, until that got more convoluted, but this they do a really good way of telling the story of these characters and kind of where they're at in their particular lives. And then there's other things that happen that definitely connect the Autobots and the humans. They find connection
hmm
in the events that take place. I thought that was really good.
yeah,
Um, and then what was interesting is you even get the wiki name drop.
yep.
So I was like, not that that's like connected or anything, but I'm like, oh, they're wikis. That's
Well,
cool. Like,
actually, the thing is, it is connected. The original humans that were friends with them,
uh
like Spike's dad's in the original one that first met the Transformers, and then Spike, who's in the Transformers animated movie, they're what wikis.
oh, okay. I didn't know that was
Yeah,
okay. Cool.
it's an
I haven't
ongoing
seen
name.
the
That's where it
movies
came
in
from.
years. Okay,
They took
so
the
I
name
like
for
that then.
they took the name for the live
Okay.
action movies, but they kind of did their own thing with it. But what Wiki's always
Oh, okay.
kind of been
Cool.
like the first humans that the Autobots made friends with.
Okay. Sweet. It has been so long because like
Yeah.
I watched more of the reboot they did
Mm.
back in the day that rebooted the franchise, and I
Yeah.
haven't seen the '80s movie in years. But I'm just like, okay, cool. Like that seems like a connecting thing. Like I didn't know if that started with the live action movie or not. But I was like, oh, that's cool. Like they're keeping that thread and that kind of weird generational thing,
Yeah, I think
which
it.
which I guess was kind of implied in the first movie almost as well. Like, oh, this is
Oh, say that last bit
so.
again. Sorry, your mic cut off.
I feel like they kind of did imply that in the first movie too.
Hmm
Like with the how it's a generational name.
Yeah.
So like that's a thread that like I'm realizing is more and more now. Like you said, is connected. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it was really cool that
Mhm.
they connected that. Just shout out to the chat.
Yeah.
Hey Squish, thank you for coming in and joining us. And Locke,
Hello, friends.
you're not first, and you're not new here.
Figure out
LG,
why.
you gotta let me help you figure out why it does that. Your mic. Locke wants to help
I
your mic.
don't know.
Do you know what the weird thing is? It may be just something in your settings, because remember when we used to do D&D on the channel, like way back,
It used
my
to.
mic used to cut out by the end of streams,
Yeah.
and it was like a weird setting on my Yeti that I had to change.
Yeah.
So it's probably just a simple. Twitch says I was first, and that I'm new here. Well, I
So.
mean, you can't argue with Twitch, Locke. You can't argue with Twitch.
So without getting sidetracked too far, it used to do this back when I used to podcast for the old organization I was with too. And of course it comes through fine on everybody else's end except for
it seems to be on Discord, because like when you're doing it on
Yes.
stream, like the chat can hear you fine, but in Discord it cuts out for some reason. Don't know why. It's
I'll have to figure that out.
yeah, we'll get Locke to look into it. Locke can fix most stuff, so
That's
yeah,
he's our yeah, OBS, Discord, and even external software that can all have different settings. Yep, that's true.
yeah. But yeah, going
Anyway.
back to what we were saying about the human element and stuff, like I loved the way they did the human element in this story, because kind of like you said, like when it came to like the violence, like it was violence that we had never seen in the animated show, that we'd never seen in the movies. Even like the Decepticons just like literally squishing human beings, and just like they were nothing to them. It showed that it wasn't afraid to do more mature storytelling. I don't think it's like adult rated or anything. You don't like see blood and guts and gore and stuff, but it's definitely more mature. Like, yeah,
there's definitely a little bit of it, but not enough.
Yeah,
to be
like of
oh,
course
like
the Decepticons would do that, you know, because why wouldn't they? Of course they would. But you also then get that with the humans in this, where it's like in the animated show, the humans were there, like, you know, Sam Witwicky and then Spike Witwicky. It's like as the years went on with it, it was like they had their elements to it, and they had some really interesting stuff that they did. And but the humans were just kind of there to allow a kind of humanity connection. But they were very much side characters. Like, nobody watched that show for the humans. The most that I ever seen the humans get involved was, I think it was series 3 of the animated series, after they did the time jump. And that was when they'd done a whole thing where it was meant to be like the Transformers. Like, for some of the Transformers, they needed somebody in their head that could like transform and stuff and control stuff for them and help them. I can't remember the full storyline. It's been a long time from I watched it. And Spike Witwicky actually became the person controlling RC during it. The female Autobot. I don't remember all the details of it from. It's been a long time since I've seen that. But I remember like seeing it as a kid. That was the most I ever saw like the humans getting involved, and that was like 3 seasons deep. They were never a major factor. But we get like a really hard-hitting human story.
Yes.
Of, you know, we get Spike, who's like the main contact with the Autobots, and what's his friend's name? I forgot her name now.
Carly,
yes. Like,
which
Spike,
I feel like is almost a Daniel Warren like insert. Like, that's like his character, because she reminds me a bit of the one from Do a Power, at least the way he like drew her and stuff like that.
She looks so much like the daughter in Do a Power Bomb. She really does.
Yes.
Like the way she's drawn. I feel like Carly's a name that rings a bell. Like maybe she was in it somewhere and he's brought the name back, but the design of the character 100% looks like the character from Do a Power Bomb. Absolutely. Just like the hair up in the ponytail, and it's that kind of like shaggy looking kind of style to it. Like, very much face shape and everything looks very similar.
Yeah.
But like they're the kind of main ones that meet with the Autobots and kind of get stuck in the middle of all the crap that's going on. And Spike is very much kind of Optimus's like human connection to teach him a little bit about the world. And we get, like we talked about, when he steps on the deer and like he learns about how fragile life is on the planet. They have a big conversation about family and, well, what's family? You know, for a machine that's created, what's a family? Like, you're born to people. Like, what the hell's that? You know, it's a really great kind of learning moment with that. But we also get the great moments with his dad. Um,
Hmm.
who Spike has lost his mom, and we clearly get a real human thing of the dad not handling it. He is
Yeah.
very distant from his son and is an alcoholic and is barely functioning at work. And it's
Hmm.
clearly having an effect on his relationship with his son. And it's not done in like a he's an awful father and he's abusive sort of way. It's clearly a man struggling to cope with
Yes.
loss and doesn't know how to keep going forward.
Yeah.
And as we see as the book goes on, wants to be there for his son but doesn't know how to, which is a very real thing.
Hmm.
Very mature for a comic book to be handling, for a Transformers comic book to be handling.
Yes.
And I'm like, because I love that there isn't a definitive like answer. It's not like, oh, he's going through this, and now the Autobots will teach him to be better, and he'll be a better like. No, it doesn't go like that. It's very much a case of like he is clearly a guy that is just trying to do his best
Yep.
and is trying to live. And then we also get another really mature storyline of one of his work colleagues is Carly's dad, who is
Yeah.
one of the before mentioned humans that is squished by Starscream.
I like how they don't tell you that at first, and you just think, "Oh,
No,
this is like he's that character didn't just end up being a casualty," and you're like, "Oh,
yeah, it's
that
not until
sucks."
later you learn that that's Carly's dad. Like, and so
Mhm.
you almost like learn about it when she does. So you kind of have that
Yes.
initial moment of shock. And I
Yeah.
love that we go through this story of her wanting revenge because they killed my
Mhm.
father. And it creates
Yeah.
this really great relationship and back and forth between her and Cliffjumper,
Mhm.
which I was not expecting. I did not think Cliffjumper was going to be a main character for this first volume.
Yeah.
And it's almost like this B plot of him with Carly and him trying to help her through
Yeah.
her grief because the Decepticons did to her what they did to him. They were they wrecked his home, they took his friends, they murdered people he loved. And so he's like, I understand what you're going through.
Mhm.
And we even get a great moment of like her actually talking him down later on when he comes face to face with Starscream. And
Yeah.
he's I'm just gonna murder him.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna murder him. Like because this is my moment. He's here.
Right.
I was into Transformers up until I saw Jazz get ripped in half. Squish says,
Oh, yeah.
"Yeah, that's a rough moment." Which
This
Jazz
I
does make a cool appearance in this actually later on.
This book doesn't hold back. I would say, like, to add to that, this book, and I guess to everything else we're saying, this book doesn't hold back in ways that I think a trans man is used to. I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
aside from some of the more adult jokes and things that happen in the movies, but the movies are,
Yeah.
but this book does not hold back in ways that I think we're
Amazingly, I
used.
think this is more mature in how it handles stuff than the movies are.
Oh yeah, even the movies too, to a degree. Yeah,
Even the adult stuff that the movies do is like it feels very
it's more
much
like
like
cheap
a
jokes.
it's the cheap
Yeah, in the
jokes to
movie.
it's the childish adult jokes that go like that. Oh, this makes it more childish because we're going to talk about this. Like, no, this is real stuff here.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is stuff that people actually go through on a daily basis and have to deal with. It's just wrapped up in a Transformers story.
You don't expect to reflect on life when you read a Transformers book.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And even like the story that the humans go, I love that. Again, we've talked about it early on, and it's like I think the key word to this whole first volume is balance.
Hmm.
He has an amazing ability to balance the story.
Yeah.
He gives you enough of everything that you don't feel like it's lacking, but he also doesn't overload anything else in the story. Like the human stories are great, but I don't feel like they steal the spotlight from the Transformers.
Right. Right.
The Transformers like setup I feel is great, and it doesn't like overload too much up front to try and like, oh, please buy our book and read it. It's like,
Right.
but it puts in enough to make someone who's new picking it up be intrigued enough to continue.
Hmm.
It's like it's a perfect balance of all these things. My question going forward though is like, can he keep that balance up in volumes 2 and 3 and 4? Like,
Yeah.
can you continue the story at that level? It's one thing doing it in something like do a power bomb,
Right.
where it's one and done. It's
Yeah.
still one of my favorite books we've ever covered on Indie Comic Book Club.
Absolutely.
But it's a one and done. There's no sequel. There's no second volume.
Yeah.
It's just this is the story. For Transformers, like this is designed to be ongoing for as long as they'll be allowed to do it.
Yeah.
And then whenever they're taken off it, someone else will be on it, or it'll be rebooted again, or it'll go to another company. Transformers is going to be one of those properties that's just forever in the
Yeah.
sphere of geekdom. It's one of those pop culture stuffs now. Like it's same as like, like the Marvel and DC heroes, same as like the Turtles, same as like, stuff
Power
like
Rangers.
that. Power Rangers. Like they're
Yep.
always a version of them in the zeitgeist that is just never going to disappear.
Yeah.
So it's like, how long can you keep it going on a series? And is it planned to be just like a, hey, we're going to write this until we're told to stop? Or is he going
Yeah.
to say like, okay, that's my story, I'm done. Someone can pick it up
Yeah.
from here and keep going,
I'd have to wonder. We did talk about like how eventually Dan Mora got a hold of this. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to check. I wonder how long this particular series actually went, or if it's still technically going, or what happened with that. Because it's like we were talking about before, the Dan Mora did 6 issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have to look in to see where this particular series is at with Skybound right now. It'd be interesting to look up.
Let me have a little look now and see if I can find anything. These
Yeah.
material.
They have a deluxe version of the whole, not necessarily volume one, but the whole first chunk of volumes, I guess, of this particular series. I held off on it. It was like because it was like $40 and it was like a hardback thing.
Yeah.
But now reading this, I'm probably gonna get the rest of it. Like I'm probably just gonna get that deluxe version that I held off from getting initially because I enjoyed this so much.
Oh, so the series is still ongoing,
Okay.
but Daniel Warren Johnston has finished his run as the writer of it and completed it at issue 24 in September 2025. New creative
Okay.
team starting with issue number 25, which released in October, was with writer Robert Kirkman and artist Dan Mora. And they took over the series.
Hmm. Okay.
That's intriguing. Like, I'd be curious to
Oh,
see their run on it because, like, Dan Warren Johnson's doing it. Daniel Warren Johnson's doing a great job on it.
yeah.
I am intrigued to see what would happen with Robert Kirkman running it
Yeah.
because I'm like, that's not the first name I was like. Don't get me wrong, I know it's Skybound now that's like got the rights
Hmm.
to it and stuff, so him being involved doesn't shock me.
Right.
But I'd be very intrigued to see how it changes up for that.
That's almost sounds more wild than what we got out of this so far. Like that sounds like it could even get even more ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to see the changeover when it gets to the end of Daniel Warren Johnson's like story arc for it. But like, I'm very intrigued
Yeah.
now to get because he was on it for like what 2 years. So yeah,
Yeah.
24 issues. So yeah, 2 years he was on it. I'm very intrigued to get the rest of the volumes of his run.
Yeah.
And see how it goes, and then see how it goes beyond that. So like that new run is ongoing for the last few months. So like they've not even completed probably the first volume yet. Maybe the first volume.
Right. I saw maybe Dan Mora did 6 issues so far.
So yeah, so they might have just finished the first volume run on that.
Yeah.
We'll see if he keeps going after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very intrigued going forward with it. I think this is very well done for what Daniel
Mhm.
Warren Johnson's done with it.
Yeah.
To get into the kind of the way this one, oh, we've got ads. I forgot to turn ads off. Not used to it. I've not done the live stuff in a long time.
Right. Right.
But going towards the end of this, and this is spoilers for the first volume. We're going to start getting into some real spoiler stuff. We've kind of talked about a few things.
Yeah.
But the intriguing way they finish this off, this first volume, is during one of the firefights that takes place, Spike ends up getting shot.
Yeah.
And is basically on death's door. They rush him because the whole thing happens like when his dad sees his colleague getting killed, Carly's dad getting killed. He basically tries to get a group of people together to,
Which sounds like a bad idea in the first place.
yeah, like to try and fight back against them. And I'm like, dude, you're a bunch of like guys in a bar with guns. I'm like, this is like a skyscraper high robot that crushed one of you with his bare hands, and I'm like, what are you hoping to do?
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do? Like, seriously, like you're doing nothing.
It makes you think somebody's gonna die here, and I think that's what was shocking about Spike being shot is you don't expect it to be Spike. You do expect like there's gonna be a casualty.
Yeah, he's like the
They are a
human
little too small.
protagonist, so you don't think he's going down.
Yeah.
And then he is, and his dad has to basically stop trying to attack the Transformers and allow Optimus to help him and get Spike to a hospital.
Yeah.
And then it looks like it's going bad because the hospital gets attacked by Starscream because he's basically now just taunting Optimus how fragile these humans that he's trying to protect are, and takes out the power. And it's like, they're done. Like, the power's gone in the hospital. All these humans are going to die. Like, why do you care? And we get this really intriguing moment that ends up coming up where Optimus decides to basically use the matrix of leadership, which, if you've watched Transformers for a lengthy period of time, you know is the big thing that he holds in his chest.
Yeah.
That ends up getting passed on to Hot Rod during the movies, and Optimus then gets it back to try and basically it's used to power up the Autobots, it's used to define leadership, it's to be used in their darkest moment, all this sort of stuff. So we get to the point of him using this, and Optimus basically starts to get severely injured because they end up in a fight with Devastator, who I did not expect to show up in the last few issues. For anyone not knowing who Devastator is, he is basically the first like combiner where they introduced like 6 Transformers that can combine into one giant robot.
Yeah, the Constructicons.
Yeah, he was the first that we see in the series, so it was really cool that he was the first that we see in this series as well. But yeah, basically the Matrix of Leadership is Optimus is going to use it and fails to. And to basically use it to try and save his son, Spike's dad walks into it and activates it.
That was wild.
Question mark? I'm like, I don't get how that works, but we're just going to roll with it. Okay.
That was the one thing. I guess if I did have to pick something, that was the one thing I'm like, huh, is that how that's supposed to work?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I mean, I guess it's never been specifically said that that's not possible. Because the only times I've ever seen the Matrix of Leadership get activated is someone pulls it out their chest, grabs like the handles, and like pulls it open and releases the spark in the center.
Yeah,
that's the only way I've ever seen that happen. So for a human being to walk into it and activate it and essentially sacrifice themselves,
it's like, is maybe because like is a human being considered like energy? I guess. Even though Energon's like, oh no, we need power. You know, like it's always specifically been like power.
Yeah.
So it just, I was like, okay, I'll accept it.
Yeah, maybe it's something that'll get explained later on, because obviously the way this one ends is like a question around that. Very intrigued by how that works, but nonetheless, he basically activates it and gives power back to the hospital so that they can finish operating on Spike and save him. So his dad gets his kind of like his redemption moment. Because like we said, there's not like really a big like, oh, I'm going to learn to be better or stuff like that. But he does get a redemption moment at the end of
Yeah.
I can do this for my son and I can save him. And he does. He sacrifices himself. They save him. And we even see at the end of the issue, like when Spike wakes up, he asks, for the last page we see, he asks where his dad is. So
Yeah.
we've already had Carly exploring loss a little bit, but we're going to see Spike probably exploring that in volume 2 of
Yeah.
his dad sacrificing himself in such a phenomenally huge way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a really intriguing ending to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's like I think that's probably the one thing where I'm kind of like, huh?
Yeah. I'm like, huh, all right.
I'm like,
It's like,
it was like it's one of those moments where it's like you just go, Transformers first. Yeah, sure, why
yes.
not?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's probably the only thing like I don't get how that works, but we're just gonna roll with it. But
Yeah.
apart from that, like yeah, it's very it's very much a great start to the series.
Mm-hmm.
I am very intrigued to see what happens because obviously by the end of the issue we get a whole bunch of Autobots and Decepticons are resurrected and are brought back, and we see
Yeah.
them fighting and getting into battle with each other. We talked about Cliffjumper and Ratchet, and then we see Jazz getting brought back, and I think does RC pop up as well? Possibly. I'm trying to remember who
Yeah.
shows up.
RC. Yeah, she shows up towards the end. I really love that scene with her when she jumps in and saves Carly.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that what I liked about that because if what I liked about that was it shows I guess the leadership of Optimus versus like the lack of leadership that Starscream has
Yeah.
because she tells like Carly like I don't know who you are but I'm and like makes that save play and I'm just like that's like the it's just the complete opposite of what like Starscream
Yeah.
hopes to be
Like
yeah
Optimus like leads from the front and
yes
inspires the rest of the Autobots to
yep
keep going. Like that's almost like why
yep
Ratchet says what he says. Like if you die and you lose the matrix of leadership, like we're done. Because
yeah
like he's the one that inspires, he's the one that continues them fighting to go forward and to keep going and to do all this stuff. Whereas like Starscream is very much just trying to rule. He doesn't want to
hmm
be a leader, he wants to be a king that's worshipped.
yep
But when you're in the midst of a battle to this extent, it's this deeply entrenched, it's a very not the right place to be. Like,
yeah
being a kingly figure comes after the being the leader
yeah
that does all the stuff that you have to do. And it's like we see a lot of them kind of coming forward as well. Like same with the Decepticons, we see like Skywarp, R.I.P., who gets sacrificed by Starscream before the fight even happens. But we
like
see,
he takes an L and then he just it gets worse.
and then he gaslights as well. Like Thundercracker comes in, like, what happened to Skywarp? And I'm like, oh, he was killed. And it like sends Thundercracker off to like get revenge against him, and
yeah.
it's like, dude, really?
Yeah.
Soundwave's just kind of there, just doing his thing, like almost like I have to put up with this
Yeah.
guy until we get Megatron back.
Yeah.
But it leaves off on a really intriguing note, and then I wonder if the next volume is going to be like the return of Megatron, or I'm
I
curious if it's going
that's
to
what I want to
be.
see.
I'm curious how they do that, or if they like hold that off a little bit, because that almost feels
Yeah.
like the end final boss thing of like that they're going forward without him, and then all of a sudden he's going to just show up. But I
Right.
don't know if that's the case. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed this volume. I thoroughly enjoyed everything
Yeah.
about it. I enjoyed the story, the art. I think it was done super well, and
hmm
I think we would probably both, but I definitely highly recommend checking it out, especially if you're looking for something to just sit and just like lose yourself in. It's such an easy, quick read as well.
Yeah.
But yeah. Any final thoughts? Any final kind of things you want to put out there for this? Anything we didn't cover?
Not that I know of. I was just thinking as I was reading this, like with all we get, um, it sucks that like the movies are in a place that they're in, because I'm like, if they ever do, like, I specifically think that they should just continue the animated trans one, because I really liked that.
Yeah.
But if they ever decide to do a full on live action reboot again, which I'm kind of over these movies right now, but this should be a something they should look at to as far like if that franchise is ever to be rebooted in live action.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, yeah, this would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. It's like I went and seen like the live action Transformers and stuff. I was a fan of the franchise, so when they were getting a live action
Yeah.
thing, it was great. But I do
Yeah.
look back on them though, and they did. Excuse me, they did gradually get worse.
Yep. Yeah.
Like they did gradually get worse. Like the first one I enjoyed. The second one was kind of like, okay, and then the third one, I'll be honest, I tapped out after the third one. Like I've not even seen like the Mark
Yeah.
Wahlberg ones and stuff. I was like, I've got no interest.
Yeah.
But if they ever wanted
Yeah.
to reboot, you've got a great setup there. And yeah, I think 100% if they do the movies again, like keep going with the Transformers one.
Yeah.
Keep going with that story. You've set up a great storyline, and you've set up a great prequel where it's like it's not even on Earth yet, so that you can lead into the war and you can do all that stuff, and you can like lead into what we know as Transformers quite easily.
Yeah.
You know, or you can even expand that universe and like, well, we saw like the beginning of Optimus and Megatron. It's like, well, what about some of the other Transformers? You know, you tried to do spin-offs obviously already when they did like the Bumblebee movie and stuff. It's like, well, what about exploring some of the other stuff?
Yeah. Bumblebee's good.
But no, I think 100%, yeah, this would be a great storyline for them to go into, to like, as a new introduction for people, as a new introduction for kids learning about Transformers, for people that want to have a little bit of nostalgia. I'm like, I don't see why not.
Yeah. Like you look at franchises like this that have been around, like you said, forever, and it's like, what more can you do with them? And like, I think this is a great example of what more you could do with just about any franchise, I think, as far as reboots and resets go.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I think that's the thing, when something's been around for a long period of time, it's like you know, this has been around since the 80s, so you're talking like what, 40 years.
Yeah.
It's like, you're like, what, how do you keep doing story? I mean, that's the stuff when it comes to like superheroes, like we talked about, like Superman and Batman, and like Superman and Batman, for example, and Captain America have been around for 80 years. What stories can you realistically still tell with them? And sometimes you get someone who tells a really good story and it's really enjoyable, but then you also get people who tell stories where you're like, this is god awful, this is so bad, like can we just do something else with them, you know? And it's like, because if you want to keep rehashing the same stuff, that's one of the things I love about indie comics, and I always say that, is I love the fact that it's not hey Atlas, how you doing, sir, welcome on in.
Yo.
But like, that's one of the things I love about indie comics, is I feel like there's a reason and a progression, and there's an end of a story up ahead. It's like, it's one of those
so much
things
originality.
Yeah, like there's a beginning, middle, and end to the stories with superhero stuff and stuff that's been around for so long. Like, they don't allow there to be. Like, there is, like, for example, I've always stood by it to this day, there is no reason for Peter Parker to still be Spider-Man. He should have been sent off into the sunshine. And Miles Morales should be the main Spider-Man.
Yes.
And the thing is, even though he's got his own Spider-Man comic, he will never be the main Spider-Man because Peter Parker's still there. What he should be is what they try to do with Blue Beetle in DC, where they had Blue Beetle have his own comic, and then Ted Kord, the former Blue Beetle, was like a mentor figure to him. I'm like,
pass the torch,
the period where Peter became like this owner of this company and almost like an Iron Man-esque figure a few years ago, that should have been his final point. That should have been his end game. He stops being
Yeah,
Spider-Man and he becomes the guy that just mentors Miles.
there was literally a comic where Miles was fighting for the legal rights to even use the name Spider-Man, and I'm
Yeah.
like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, it's like and that's the thing. Like, we're getting legacy characters in comics, which is cool. I'm sorry, guys. This is
Yeah,
completely not indie comic book club. I'm in a rant now, so we're going this path.
no, it's cool,
Um,
but I mean, it's to our point. I
but
would say.
it's like the legacy stuff that's on there of like there's characters that are coming out that are legacy characters. Like, you know, we've even seen it coming
Mhm.
into the movies now of like who takes up the mantle of Captain America, who takes up the mantle of Iron Man, who takes up the mantle of Spider Man, who takes
And those are still having trouble being let go as well. Like,
yeah. It's like, I mean, like, because that's the thing, even in the comics and now we're doing in the movies, like, well, Captain America stops being Captain America, and Sam Wilson
yeah,
takes up the mantle, and it's like, and like they had like Steve just lose the super soldier serum. He was an old like general leading the from the back sort of thing now because he was an old man. Like,
mm,
that's a great idea. Like, oh, we're going to give him the super
yeah,
soldier serum back. Like, why? What other stories can we tell with Captain America that haven't been told in the last 80 years? Like, let someone new wear it because that creates new stories. Same with Miles
yeah,
being Spider Man. Same with, okay, not the same with Ironheart being the replacement for Iron Man because she was awful. Let's give him a good replacement. Like
yeah,
that
yeah,
did not work in the comics or the show. Let's not pretend it was a
yeah,
bad choice. Um, but yeah, there's some great stuff out there, and I'm like, why not? And it's the same with Transformers. Transformers is a 40-year-old property. How do
yeah,
you keep it refreshed? And I'm like, I think
right,
Daniel Warren Johnson has done an amazing job of refreshing it and making it feel like a
yeah,
great entry point for people who haven't read it before, who haven't experienced it before, but also a great nostalgia hit for people who have. And that's a rare
yeah,
thing. Yeah. All
yeah.
right, I'm done. I'm good. Like,
No, yeah, yeah. You know, they successfully found a not convoluted way. Because like with the big dogs, you get all these like, oh, we're having these universal events that are gonna change everything, and then changed. This is just a simple reboot that
yeah.
doesn't really change anything, but has yet been able to change a lot in some ways. So
I think that's the cool thing about it. Like you said, it's like it's a simple reboot, but it doesn't actually change much. Like the
right,
main story is still the main story. That's always been the kind of main story. Like it's
yeah,
not that far off of it. So it's like it's a really well done reboot. I think. I honestly do. I think they've
yeah,
done a good job, and I can't speak to Volume 2 and beyond, or to what's going to
mhm.
happen now with Robert Kirkman and Dan Mora taking over it.
Yeah,
Which Dan Mora,
yeah,
I'm fine taking over. He's a phenomenal artist, one of my favorites.
hmm,
Robert Kirkman taking it over. Like, don't get me wrong, he did great with Walking Dead and Invincible. Him taking over Transformers, I'm like,
that seems wild.
that's either going to be really amazing or it's going to be a really bad decision, and I'm not sure which.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I'm intrigued for it. The future for Transformers seems really exciting.
yeah. Like I'm
Hey,
definitely picking
Isaac,
up for that.
thanks for the sub. Appreciate it, brother.
What up?
Um,
Yeah,
68 months in a row, damn.
yeah. I think I've ran out of things to say. This
Yeah,
is
I
super
think
good.
we've hit it.
I'm gonna pick up the rest.
Um, we are going to take a little break. Ads are about to kick off, and I can't snooze them anymore. Um, and I don't want to like disappear when the ads start. So like we'll stay here and do our outro once the ads kind of happen. You are an OG
Mhm.
Isaac 68, man. That's a
He
long
is.
time you've been
Yep.
sticking around here.
Yeah.
Unlike Locke, who keeps saying he's new here.
The Infinity Bros are actually back streaming their podcast on Friday as well. They
Yeah,
streamed
they
their
were
Stanley
back,
Awards,
man.
and that was a blast.
But yeah,
Like an
everyone,
indie,
ads
like
are about to kick
and
in. I can't
they're
snooze them
still back.
anymore. I've snoozed them 3 times, so almost to 69. Nice. We are pretty
Mhm.
much wrapping up for today. Thank you for joining us. Please go ahead and check out our YouTube channel where this will get posted if you've missed anything for today. Yeah, You can also go and check out our gaming and tabletop channels as well, but this will be going up on the comic book channel. It's pretty much the only thing that's going up there at the moment, since I had to stop doing comic book reviews since I got a job and didn't have the time to do them anymore.
What's happening? Yeah.
But also please go and check out all of our socials and come and join us in our Discord. As we were saying, for those that were here from the ads, like, we will be back tonight. You get to have a double dose of us today. We will be back. Who's all playing tonight? You, me, Space Hawk, and
Jacob.
Okay. I thought that was how it was. I'm like, I don't know anymore. I just know people show up at this point.
Yeah.
We will be playing Roadside Research, where basically we will be playing aliens working in a gas station trying to do research on human beings. If you like our usual Sunday night shenanigans and chaos, this is right up our alley for that sort of stuff. So please come and hang out with us tonight at probably about 8 o'clock, I believe we're doing it. 7:30,
Yes,
8, something like that.
Around that time.
We'll be here tonight at some point. We'll be doing that, and then tomorrow night, Caleb will be back, going diggy diggy hole as he plays a game about digging a hole. We'll, play the, what is it, Windrose is like, I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggy diggy hole. Diggy diggy hole. So join him tomorrow night for that. I'll be honest, I'm going to be here tomorrow night in the chat to watch that, because I have no clue what that game is going to involve, but I've got a feeling it's going to go off the rails quickly knowing him. So I'm very intrigued. I know nothing about the game, and I will be here to watch the chaos ensue. And then join us again on Tuesday night as our good friend LG the Paladin. Yep, I'm pointing the right way, making sure on my camera. He will be he'll be joining nobody. He'll be here himself. He'll be doing his own thing. He'll be here on Tuesday night playing Reanimal.
Yep, more spooky stuff.
So doing more spooky stuff. You saw it in the countdown. Scaring the crap out of LG and Space Hawk is pretty much my bread and butter on this channel, and making them do scary stuff they don't want to do. I need clips for the next trailer, basically. This is how I get them. So come and join him then, and then of course next weekend we'll be back with all our usual stuff that we're going on. For our next Indie Comic Book Club, which hopefully should be happening next month. Will it be happening next month? No idea. We're hoping. I'll be honest, at this point we show up when we show up, but I'm hoping it happens in March. And I believe the book that's on the horizon is going to be East of West.
Looks good.
Very cool story by Jonathan Hickman, one of my favourite comic writers, as we go through an interesting story based around the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. So come and join us for that. But that is everything for today. We are going to head out and we are going to drop a raid. Let me see who we're going to drop a raid on. Let's go raid Nikki Emmy, because she's on the now and one of the few people on a Sunday that we actually know. So we're going to be raiding. Please go ahead and copy our raid message as I throw it in chat. Yeah, you too, Atlas. Have a good one, sir. Take care. We will see you all tonight, but all of you have an absolutely amazing weekend. And remember, it's a good week to be a geek. Take care. We'll see you all next time. Peace.